Take care. You're a citizen.
Sway in the morning.
Arthur in Alabama, you got a question?
Yes, I do. Good morning, Sway in the morning, Heather B.
What up, baby?
Hey.
Listen, I got a question for you. Your name is connected with everybody, with somebody in the last 50 years of hip-hop, and I appreciate you for that. My question to you and Sway in the morning crew is this. Tell me about the one that got away, the one you wish now that you would have kept around. You got a lot of hit makers. I heard about all your victories. Tell me about the one that got away, the one you said, man, I wish I would have hung on to that person or that lady or that.
Hey, man, that's a good question, man. How long you think about that question, man? It sounds like you wrote that out, color-coded it. Like you read it through a couple of people.
Put a thumbnail on it.
Yeah. That's a great question. You know what? I'm going to tell you 2 stories real quick, fast stories. Mace's old manager, Kuda, had a friend that found Nelly in Atlanta. I heard it. I said, it's probably one of them days I didn't smoke.
You know what?
You know what I'm saying?
Was off. Your judgment was off.
My shit was off. I was off my square. So I might have missed on Nelly.
Wow.
Can you imagine that? Can you imagine them envelopes?
They played you country grammar?
No, they played country grammar.
Oh,
no.
How you not hear that?
If I didn't hear that, I shouldn't be in the game. They just played me Nelly, who he was, and I just, I didn't get it at that time. And like I said, I should have puffed, but I didn't. And then the other one that necessarily didn't get away, but my goal was not to manage and none of that, was Nicki Minaj. I found Nicki on MySpace, and she was really cool. You can listen to music, and I told her who I was, and she knew who I was, and I invited her to Daddy's house, and she came with a cute little girl. They looked like a group. They were so cute, both of them, and she actually wrote a verse for me, and I was so impressed with her that I called Lil Kim on the phone and said, I think I have your protege. And called her Hillary Weston, but at that time, that's not what their mindset was. But I said, Kim, I'd like you to do a record with her. So Kim had a verse from an old freestyle that I had. So I used the verse on the song with Nicki and said, and I sent it to her and Hillary. I said, this is how I'd like her to come on this record. Like, this is an example of the record. And I had my hook on it, chorus, and all that stuff on it already. And, the answer was never came back, never did it. And a few months later, it got leaked. So if you ever hear a record called Everything out there with Lil Kim and Nicki Minaj, that's my record with me on it, but it was never meant to be heard. But the goal was I wanted Kim, at least, and this is before Debbie Anthony, this is before Cash Money, this is when she had Fendi.
Fendi.
Right.
Yeah, so, early. Mixtape Nicki.
Right, so I tried, mixtape Nicki, right, so I tried to connect her with Kim super early. And it didn't work. I still have the song, so shout out to Nicki.
But Nicki was open to doing a song with Kim, though.
Well, she didn't know we were gonna do a song with Kim. She just came. She was just coming to do a record with me because I thought she was dope. She was Nicki Mirage, and it had Minaj and like quotations or something. I was like, oh, and I was like, oh, this is. She reminded me of Yummy Bingham. Remember Yummy Bingham?
Yes.
She reminded me of Yummy, and I was like, oh, she hot, she sexy, she cute. So I invited her to come through, like come late, do something. She wrote that verse right then and there, laid it for me, and did her thing. And so I just said, Kim, oh my God, like, let's not do what we did in the past. If you embrace this little girl, you out of here. And it just didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
Yeah.
Man, hey, Arthur, great question. You're a citizen, brother.
You're a citizen.
You're a citizen.
Okay.